With enough practice, dedication, and advice from the community, can one average Counterstrike player find himself among the pros? Welcome to Counterstrike Hero from Zero. Starting out on Inferno, check out this play I made. I ignored these two guys holding mid because I just wanted to sneak into B and get the bomb plant, which I did.
I am planting the bomb.
At which point I snuck into CT spawn.
Hey, two coming from me. Three. Molly in the body.
They are through with a flashbang.
Run.
I was extremely proud of that play. All I wanted was to get the bomb plant, and I got the round win out of it.
Last guy.
Even after I started out well, one of my teammates started loudly complaining about one of my other teammates, starting a near constant argument in voice chat.
Sit on coffin next time and hold an angle. Don't run around and tell them exactly where you are and where you're gonna peek from and be like, hey, by the way guys, I'm right here. I'm scoping in.
Dude, just shut the fuck up. You're honestly so fucking annoying.
Dude, you're 11 and 17 throwing the easiest game.
I'm glad we're losing this now just so you lose Elo, you fucking
Dude,
retard.
I lose Elo because you don't know how to play the game.
Exactly.
Sad,
Glad
actually.
we're losing Elo.
You're
fucking
glad that you
retard.
don't know how to play the game?
Yeah,
That's
you're
not
fucking
cool, dude.
Have
Okay,
fun.
dude, well,
Have
you
fun
should go
losing
learn how to
Elo,
play.
bro.
Why don't you go play MM?
losing your Elo, bro.
Why do you pay money to lose,
Have
kid? You're
fun
fucking
losing your
trash.
Elo.
Oh,
Have
no
fun
problem.
losing your Elo.
No problem. I lose it all the time.
Yeah,
The fuck,
okay.
like, should kill them.
That constant argument between my teammates lasted until we finally lost the game. Up on cash, I was fragging reasonably well, but not quite well enough.
Good kill.
Throwing flashbang.
Flashing backside.
Deploying.
One more there. Good shit.
I didn't realize last one was in there. Good trade.
Check heaven.
Went out sandbags, carrot. Got him. Flashbang.
Throwing the flashbang.
The enemy team had one player who single-handedly won most of the rounds for them, and we just couldn't stop him. Up on Mirage, we started out well, but my team was wildly uncoordinated and could only win rounds if one person on our team went off and single-handedly won the round for us.
What?
If that one person wasn't able to single-handedly win the round, we'd lose every time because the team just couldn't work together.
Diffusing.
Oh my god. Good. Wow, that was great. 200 ping. Window lit. Window last. Oh, window up. Window up. You got him, Blue? No, he's there last.
Jungle.
Stairs.
Throwing flashbang.
Fuck.
I'm defusing the bomb.
I don't have kit.
It's fine. Oh, god damn. It's like dead. Close. Dead. Other unknown. Nice.
Good job.
so you gotta peek now.
So that's maybe feet.
Unsurprisingly, we lost the game because we couldn't all make hero plays every round. I wound up in a very close game on Mirage, but we had one player abandon fairly early on in the game.
House can be good off.
Out ramp 2.
Grenade out.
Even in a 4v5, we brought it to overtime, but I think that one player we were missing was all we needed to actually get the win here. Very close loss. It should show you how desperate I was getting for wins that I was willing to play overpass.
That's all hitting. Nice.
Nice.
Shot.
There's really not much to show here. Our entire team kind of insisted on pushing it aside and dying one by one. The few rounds we won were the ones that everyone was willing to play together. I did terrible on train. I had 8 deaths before I got my first kill on the board.
He was blue.
Extend the area out.
Ivy's clear.
Bomb.
I'm pushing the backside. Down.
Good shit, blue.
A big part of the reason I didn't do very well this game is I was trying to teach myself how to play A-side on CT for the first time. I'm definitely not that good at it yet, and we had a pretty convincing loss. I had a sudden change of pace going into a Mirage game.
That's a cat. Or just playing with him.
Planting.
I'm dying for no reason. Stairs. I don't know.
And no kit.
Solid work.
What the
Yes.
fuck?
Wow, dude.
GG.
They literally shoot. Wow.
Our T side was so strong that the enemy just gave up and surrendered after they lost pistol round in the second half. Playing another game on Mirage, we had a teammate who was really obnoxious, screaming at us as soon as the game started, "Report them, they're all hacking!" He was yelling at us on mic the entire game, so I finally just blocked him, but we got completely destroyed.
One window.
There's a cat.
Dead.
Con.
Alex first one. Yeah.
So, I don't normally do this, but I went back and watched the demo after the game. I was super curious about this round, where I silently walked through Palace, then I got spammed down to 10 health before I even peeked. How did that happen? Did I accidentally show a little bit of my gun barrel? I wanted to watch it from the viewpoint of the guy who shot me.
Bro, it's a cat.
I can't see. I killed him.
One's palace. One more.
Window?
Where was he?
Did you catch that? Someone else called out that I was in Palace, which made the guy in Jungle spam right when I was there. But how could anyone have called out I was in Palace?
One mid. Cat.
Bro, he's up cat.
I can't see. I killed.
One's palace.
This guy, who was sitting by ticket booth on CT, somehow knew that I was in Palace when I was walking the whole time. I'm not going to spend a game hackusating, but when I have blatant evidence that someone is walling, I'm definitely going to be convinced that this game wasn't legit. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped into another game right after that, since I was pretty irritated about having to lose against a hacker. Out, got him.
Close. 2. One more, on top of the box. That's okay.
I didn't do very well, and we lost the game. On Dust 2 again, I managed to consistently die to ridiculous headshot angles where I couldn't even see the enemy.
Oh, fuck, dude, I don't have time.
What up, cat?
I dropped bomb. I'm smoked off. Ding.
Left side, mid, I think.
He is ramp.
Terrorists win.
Trying for a third try on Dust 2, we had some really good players, but we had one player who I honestly don't think knew how to play the game. He kind of walked around cluelessly.
B.
We finally kicked him after he was 0 and 18, but I think the game had already been lost at that point.
Terrorists win. Incendiary.
I feel like we would have had a very good shot at this game if we had a fifth player who knew how to play Counterstrike, or even if we'd had a bot for most of the game instead of him. Moving on to Inferno for the last game of the episode, I did a decent job getting some opening frags.
What's a little knife?
Go away, last one.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Get the bomb.
Actually, never
Get the bomb.
mind.
One in library, I think.
Back there.
Back corner.
Grenade out. Throwing a grenade.
Nice job. Another.
Thank you.
Nice. Fall back.
Laying down smoke. Terrorists win.
Despite a few decent rounds, this game turned into the same story as the rest of the games on this episode. I tried my hardest, and we still lost anyways. I'm really not sure what to say at this point. I've played 12 games over the course of this episode, and I've won one of them. I'm really frustrated, discouraged, and really not sure where it's going wrong for me. I've deranked from level 4 all the way to level 2 over the course of one episode. Well, thank you for watching anyways. Please like, share, and subscribe.